Hi everybody, I'm here today to tell you the truth about sugar. I'm going to give you some information on added sugars, the foods they can be found in, the harmful effects that occur in our body when we eat them, and ways we can avoid them. If we are more aware of added sugars in the foods that contain them, we can make a better decision about what it is that we put into our body. In June of 2020, I made a decision to cut back on my daily intake of sugar. It's now November, I've lost 33 pounds and never gone to the gym. I've also done a lot of research on databases and the internet about the harmful effects of sugar on the body. Processed foods are high in added sugars. These are foods that go through a mechanical and chemical process. They're altered from their natural state. The nutrients are removed in this process, and they add sugar to make it taste good. First rule of thumb when it comes to sugar, anything ending in OSA, most likely bad for you. Sucrose, commonly found in table sugar. We sprinkle it on cereal, put it in coffee and tea. Fructose is widely used in the soft drink industry. They add it to Coke, Pepsi, Mountain Dew. It's what makes it taste good. Maltose, commonly called malt sugar. High contents in beer. It's found in breads, pizza, bagels. High fructose corn syrup, most dangerous of all the added sugars. It's found in candy bars, canned fruit, salad dressings, condiments like ketchup, coffee creamers, and of course, soft drinks and soda. While it's important to know added sugars and what foods you can find them in, I'm now going to explain the negative effects that these sugars have on the body. It's important to know the dangers from added sugars that occur in the body as a result of eating them. Often foods are advertised as all natural or low fat, when in fact, these foods have some of the highest added sugar contents. They have to replace the flavor with something, so they add sugar. According to a dietary intern from Oregon State University, it is very important to pay attention to foods that are labeled as natural because the FDA has very loose restrictions on what a natural food really is. We often mistake foods for being healthy, like yogurt, granola bars, oatmeal, trail mix, when in fact these foods have high added sugars as well. Although we choose high sugar foods to eat and high sugar beverages, these add substantial calories to our daily intake, and there's no nutritional value in that. This is a setup for many potential health risks. A doctor from Harvard State University says the effects of sugar intake are high blood pressure, inflammation, diabetes, weight gain, and fatty liver disease. Fructose is a toxin to the human body. The liver cannot process fructose, although we consume it in large amounts. Until 1980, fatty liver disease was common amongst people who drank alcohol. After 1980, they were finding that people were developing fatty liver disease from consuming high amounts of added sugar. Today, 30% of the people across the world have fatty liver disease who never drink alcohol, and 70 to 90% of these people either are obese and have diabetes. Although there's no single cause for weight gain, soda and soft drinks, energy drinks, and sports drinks are being blamed for the rise in the obesity crisis. Now that I covered added sugars, the foods you could find them in, and the harmful health risks in eating them, I'm now going to discuss some ways we could avoid them. Although it's hard to cut out sugar completely, it's important we cut corners when we can and lower our intake. Because the amount of processed foods that are in stores, it's important to read labels. Remember the lack of nutrition that is in processed foods. Read the label. Is there any sugar that I talked about today? Maltose, sucrose, fructose, high fructose corn syrup? When selecting foods and drinks, look for alternatives that have better nutritional value. Get calorie-free and sugar-free drinks. Juices that only contain 100% juice and no fruit juice concentrate. Instead of desserts like cake, pies, and cookies, go for a piece of fruit. It's high in fiber and it makes you feel full. Now that my speech is ending, I briefly want to highlight topics that I've covered. First, I explained added sugars in the foods we could find these in. Secondly, I explained the dangers of consuming a high sugar diet and the negative effects on our body. Lastly, I explained some ways we could avoid these foods and cut some corners and lower our sugar intake. If we are more aware of added sugars and what foods contain them, we can make a better decision about what it is that we put into our body. In the end, having awareness and knowing what these foods are will result in overall improvement in our health. Keep in mind the average person eats 24 teaspoons of sugar a day. If we cut that down to half, we increase our overall health. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this.